Good afternoon and welcome to Guitar Whisperer headquarters. I'm on light duties for a couple of days because I'm a clumsy twat and I hacked a lump out my finger. So I'm steering clear of power tools and other sharp tools for a bit because basically I'm not safe. So I'm going to use my time wisely and we're going to do some work on this pedal board because I've got a whole bunch of stuff. Where is it? It's over here. I've got a whole load of stuff that I want to install in it, including a new power supply, this delay pedal instead of that delay pedal. That's probably coming out. We might put a loop thing in, you know, the sort of thing. Pedal boards never finished, ever. You can spend all day wiring them back up and then something happens and they're back to square one. Anyway, we'll tear into it. As it were, I'm going to have to remove a bunch of stuff first, untether a bunch of cables which are all held together with cable ties, and then see where we are. Well, I suppose I should explain what sort of state it's in already. So this is my gigging board. It gets used for all sorts of things. Not as complicated as it looks. It does look a bit... yeah. Anyway, it's all controlled by this bright onion loop selector, which makes the whole thing very easy to work with. Basically, the way it works is this little patch bay does in and out. So guitar goes in there, that's out to the amp. Then it runs through this thing. These two pedals, which is a hotcake and a Tula, both rather nice boutique overdrivey things, are basically on all the time. It gives me a kind of sort of mild to medium crunchy sound, I guess, and then I roll the volume back on the guitar to a suitable level to clean it up depending on what sort of things I'm playing. In front of these two there is a fuzz of some description. Last night it was the Fox Fuzz, which is a Fox fuzz tone octave fuzz mental thing. It's normally this one, which is an OXR super badass Variac fuzz, which sounds great and is super flexible. So normally the fuzz goes into there. After that there's a lead boost. So at the moment it's a Zen drive, a real one too, made by Love Pedal. So after that it goes into a modulation thing. At the moment, because there's not a lot of space, I've got this little cheapy, what make is it? Tom's Line chorusy wobbly thing, which works fine actually. What I'm probably going to do is fit in its place this effects loop switchable thing, which will then run cables off the side into a Univibe with a rocker pedal on it. This will probably make more sense later. Trem, because I love trem, that's fantastic. Full tone Super Trem Junior. Then it goes into a delay. One of the reasons I got the new power supply is, I mean, it's okay, this delay, it's not fantastic, but it's fine, it's okay. I wanted to do something, put something on with a bit more flexibility and, you know, features and things, because these are great fun, these pedals. This is a Boss DD20 Giga delay. Probably quite, well, it is quite old now, probably going on for 20 years old I suppose. Really good delay pedal though. It's got enough flexibility to do most of the stuff you want. I was considering putting my old line 6 DL4 on there as well, but it's too big, it doesn't fit. So this is going in, and then after all these, there's the reverb pedal, which is an old TC Nova reverb. That stays on all the time as well. And then the tuner. I hope you followed that. So underneath, we've got two separate power supplies at the moment. So it's a bit all over the place. There's two separate power supplies. There's this step up 12 volt gig rig thing, and there's this 12 volt one which is currently supplying the Nova, and yeah, it's a bit over the top and complex. So to replace all of those, I've got this Harley Benson rather chunky and shiny 12-way tower brick thing, which has got all sorts of switchable stuff on it. It can go from 9 volts up to 18 volts on a bunch of the inputs. There's plenty of current because the DD20 needs quite a lot of current to make it work properly. It's also got an AC outlet at the far end, so I can run one of the old power supplies off the end of it as a spare. I like to have two power supplies in every board I'm doing if I'm gigging with them, I mean, just in case one goes down. Because you can always cobble something together out of one spare power supply as opposed to nothing. So yeah, that's what that's what we've got at the moment. Yeah, first step is I'm going to leave all the pedals in place pretty much apart from this one, and then I'm just going to start cutting all the cable ties that holds it, all the cables and bundles and stuff, and then pull all the power things out and find a way of fitting this, and then we'll take it from there. There we are then, old power gubbins removed. The pile there. These power supplies are actually fantastic. These are Harley Benson Power Plant Junior power supplies. Sounds like it should be a toy, but it's not. They're really good. They've got 5 separate properly isolated outputs. I've never had one go down on me. I've had 3 of these, maybe 4. There's a few of them anyway, on various boards, and they've always been amazing. The only thing they don't do is 12 volt or high current load outputs, which is why they're coming out. But if you're putting a simple board together, you know, with like sort of 4 or 5 pedals on or something, these are fantastic, and they're only about 40 quid. That's the big boy that's going in its place, also a Harley Benson. And I got it B stock, it was about £110, not an awful lot. Anyway, I might give this a bit of a clean up along here first, and then we'll think about Getting some new stuff in. Right, much wiggling and try out of different positions. I think I'm going to go with this. So, this is going to be the spare one. I mean, this is kind of excessive, having a spare power supply in your pedal board, but if you're doing a gig and everything's running off one supply and it goes down, you end up with nothing. With the little backup one, and it's only got 5 outputs. I could still run a couple of overdrives and a tuner off that if I had to. So that would save the day. Yes, so rather luckily, this thing here fits into this gap here, which I didn't make on purpose for this reason. It's just just a coincidence, so that's happy. So it's all going to go in there, and then there is a kettle lead socket on the end there, and we'll fix that down there somewhere or like that or whatever. And then we can start running in the individual power supply cables to the pedals then. I think that's everything in. Look, everything lights up, which is kind of a good test, isn't it? That's on, that's on, that's on. I've moved that little chorus pedal down there. That's on. That's on. That's on. That's on. That's on. It's all on. Also, I found this downstairs a couple of days ago. Look, little light. I don't know what practical use that is, but it's kind of fun, isn't it? So I've run the Tula and the Zen drive on 12 volt because I can, basically. Some of these outputs are switchable. That's on 12 volt because it has to be on 12 volt. That's in one of the higher current outputs because it doesn't really work very well on the lower current. And then we've got these two coming off the side here, because I like to run a wah-wah pedal, because I'm a funky kind of guy. And also sometimes a Univibe, which has got a big rocker pedal thing on it. So they need power that comes out to the floor. So I think, yeah, all the cables are in. It's just, well, it's a mess, isn't it? I'm going to start bundling up all the power cables now and making sure they're not wrapped around the signal cables and stuff like that, and make it look a bit nicer. Slightly neater. I might revisit that later. Well, the next step really at the moment is to go and have some lunch, and then I'll grab a guitar, come back up and check that everything is actually making the right noises. I suspect one or two pedals may have the input and the output jacks swapped around during the recabling process, so we'll check all that. But it's in. The light is kind of cool. This still does up. Yeah. This pedalboard, by the way, I mean, it's quite clear, isn't it? It was made by me out of bits of random wood. I like the two-tier design. I've always thought hanging power supplies upside down from the bottom of your pedalboard is not a brilliant way of doing it. I might be overthinking it, or I might be wrong. But anyway, I prefer it like this. So it takes up less space on stage as well. And everything is contained and enclosed because I like reliability. So yeah, quick battery and then we'll make sure it's making noises. Okay, quick test with the guitar then. I'm pretty sure it is going to work. The little light works. That's important. So this is just going through the workshop amp, so it's not going to sound amazing. Tuner works. Right, so let's see. This is the core sound. Works. Fuzz. Fine. Zen drive. Oh yeah. The reverb's working, as you can probably tell. Trem. Sorry, that's not trem, that's chorus, and it is working, I think. That's fine. Tremolo. Delay. Yeah, that works. So that's all good, isn't it? As I said before, this is all controlled via the loop selector. So the only bits really that I'm using when I'm playing are these ones. Apart from a bit of tap tempo every now and then, and the odd bit of reverb and things. But yeah, happy days. I think probably a more thorough test would be to take it to a rehearsal and then kick it around the floor a bit and see if anything happens. But happy days. A little bit more tidying up maybe on these, but you know, it's all good. Which is a relief. Okay, I'm going to go and have my dinner now. Thank you for watching.